In today's video, we hike to the top of Texas, climb a natural rock staircase to explore a canyon, and learn about the local Texas wildlife.
Will Joey ever find out what an ibex is? Dun dun dun.
Stay tuned to find out. We're Katie and Joe. Over the last 6 months, we've been converting our 2022 Ford Transit Clifford into the ultimate road trip vehicle because we're taking a year off to visit all 63 U.S. national parks. Before we get going, a lot has happened since we last took Clifford out on a trip. Let's get you all caught up. After months of work, we officially finished building the van, which means it's time to hit the road as full-time travelers. If you want to see more about the design of our van, you can check out the full van tour video on our channel. We packed up Clifford with everything we think we'll need, said goodbyes to our friends and family, and then got on the road. We're heading back to Texas to visit the national park we bypassed on our trip in January. Our first night of van life was a true authentic experience. We slept in the Love's parking lot. The next day, we made a pit stop in Roswell for coffee and spent 5 minutes driving alongside this speedy boy. Not sure what kind of animal it is, but it was fast, and it looked like a Pokemon. Then we crossed into Texas. Texas! Hello from Guadalupe Mountains National Park.
Over the next day and a half, we're going to be exploring everything this small national park has to offer.
Guadalupe Mountains National Park is located in Texas, just south of the New Mexico state line. Its namesake, the Guadalupe Mountains, rise over 3,000 feet above the Chihuahuan Desert. While it is a smaller park unit, about 10 times smaller than the other Texas National Park, Big Bend, Guadalupe Mountains Wilderness has over 80 miles of trails to explore throughout the park. It is also home to the highest point in the state of Texas, Guadalupe Peak, which we will be hiking on day 2. After getting Clifford settled into our spot for the night, we laced up our hiking boots and hit the trails.
It's like 3 o'clock, sun sets at 8:30, so we thought we had enough time for a nice little hike, and we haven't really moved or hiked.
In 2 days, we've been driving, well, hiked in
we haven't hiked,
4 months.
Yeah, in like 4 months. So we thought this would be a good shot. So we're doing Devil's Hall, which is like 4.2 miles out and back, and should be very pretty.
Let's go.
So as we're walking up this trail, some guy just told us half a mile down, he saw an entire herd of an ibex. I don't know what an ibex is, but let's go find out. Lizard. So we'll end up going that way tomorrow when we climb to the top of the peak. But now, we're heading towards Devil's Hall, which is shadier. Scrambling. Katie, where are we supposed to go?
That way.
Now where was I going?
That way. But it's really easy to miss, but they tried to build up the rocks to help, so appreciate that, park rangers.
Yeah, I did not see that. But that's a little scramble. I definitely understand why this is considered a, what is it? It's more than moderate?
They called it moderate.
Moderate hike. We don't know if we actually saw an ibex or if we saw mountain goats or if the same thing, they just got a different name because they got like nicknames because they're cool. But we saw them.
It's a pretty big herd with some babies. They're up behind us on the ridge. And basically you'll hear a bunch of rocks fall and like a and then you can turn around and see them.
What was that noise? Yeah, that was it.
But that's our third wildlife. We've seen lizards and these flies that are attacking like crazy.
Lots of flies. We're gonna keep moving because the flies
don't like it when we
they don't like movement. Same. So that's Guadalupe Peak, which is not only the highest point in all of Guadalupe Mountains National Park, but also all of Texas. We'll be climbing that tomorrow. Spooky. So we're just getting back to the parking lot. It was a swell hike. It wasn't great, it wasn't bad. It's just, you know, you walk up a wash and the grand finale is basically the only thing that's really worthwhile seeing. Besides that, I think it was cool to see the ibex, the mountain goats or whatever they were.
The flies were brutal. I think walking in the wash was just kind of a pain. It wasn't particularly strenuous. There's not a lot of elevation gain, but the wash is like hard to navigate all the big boulders. But I mean, fun if you have an extra day, but probably not my top hike.
Yeah, wear stretchy pants, wear high, like
Ready to scooch on your bottom.
Yeah, a lot of just like weird flexibility to get over some of those boulders. But besides that,
it's pretty good, but not a lot of people either. 5 people total.
5 people in total. That was it for 4. We've been out for what, 2.5 hours? We're almost done. 5 people total. So. Best part about Clifford is you always know where it's at because it's red and it's a van.
That's big, really.
That's true. Good morning, everybody. It's bright and early. It's like 7:15. Sun is rising, and we are making our way to the very top of Texas, Guadalupe Peak in Texas. Probably the most strenuous hike that we've done this year. Are we prepared?
Yes.
Yes. Are we already warm and we're only 20 feet away from the parking lot?
Yes.
Yes. But it should be fun. What is it, 8.4 miles?
8.4.
8.4. It's a strenuous hike. There are people who left an hour and a half ago, so I'm sure they're hitting sunrise at the top of the mountain. We enjoy our sleep a little too much for that. So let's get back to the hike. 20 feet from the parking lot, and there's a bunch of deer up the trail. We're gonna give them some space. Ants.
They were round, and they said the initial part had a lot of elevation gain. Shape.
Is it encouraging that these 65-year-olds behind us are...
About to pass us?
Yeah.
You know, I've accepted my defeat.
We're like 1/3 of the way up. It's taking a little longer than expected. A little bit of struggling on all sides. This Texas sun is hot. It's like 8:45. It's already close to 75 degrees. And it's only getting warmer. This rock looks like a shark. Ooh ha ha.
While that rock wasn't actually a shark, it's not uncommon to find fossilized remnants of what was once an ancient reef system throughout the park. The Guadalupe Mountains are part of a 400-mile-long fossil reef complex. This nearly 300-million-year-old reef is one of the world's finest examples of an ancient reef system.
We stopped for a little snacky snack. Applesauce, dried mangoes. Kind of breathtaking. Like, who would have thought that this is Texas? Between Guadalupe and Big Bend, Texas has some pretty slept-on national parks, that's for sure. That's the peak. For the last hour or so, we thought this was it. This was hiding. Sneaky bugger. Coming up this, it's pretty exposed, but there are a few patches of trees that provide for a nice little boost of shade. The sun is quite hot already. It's like 10 o'clock and it's already 75 degrees. It's getting hotter. So we've been finding ourselves taking quick little snack breaks in the shade and trying scurrying it off to the sun, to the next shade. I'm rambling. I'm stopping now. We've got a little under a mile to go and about 900 feet to climb. This last part is not going to be fun. Congrats, you're higher than anyone in Texas.
Adorning the top of Guadalupe Peak is a stainless steel pyramid which marks the summit. It was put up by American Airlines in 1958 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the Butterfield Overland Mail, a transcontinental stagecoach route that passed south of the mountain. Standing 8,751 feet above sea level, you are met with endless views of the Chihuahuan Desert below. We spent nearly an hour at the summit taking pictures, resting, and eating lunch. After we soaked in all the views, we started our descent.
Going downhill is so much better than going up the hill. That's just facts. Also, if you want to camp on this mountain, out that direction, there's some camp spots. We don't know how many or how hard it is to get, but we saw some people on the trail and they said that they camped out here overnight and were able to watch the sunrise from the top of the mountain. And that's pretty cool. While I'm trying to descend, I thought it would be fun to share a fun little fact, not fact, thought. Fun fact. Oh, well, when Katie and I travel, we hear a lot of Germans and a lot of people from France, and it's crazy how many of them just enjoy traveling to America, especially the West. And when I was living in Germany, I noticed there's a big Western cowboy, like, a fixation. I don't know, is that the right word? Love? They just love the West. Like, I have a friend who I used to work with. He's been to like the Las Vegas, Arizona, Southern California area. Like, that's all he does. That's every one of his vacation. He just goes there. Julian, if you're watching, I'm talking about you. You're more American than most Americans.
So, if you're gonna do Guadalupe Peak, be mindful that it's really rocky. Like, big boulders. It's not just small gravel and dirt paths, it's like you're navigating each step. So while downhill is very hot, so I do have to be mindful of each of my steps. And trekking poles, highly recommend it.
I wish I could have trekking poles, but I have to carry the camera, so my life and safety and health and well-being are being compromised to bring you this vlog. This is a good time to remind you all to like and subscribe. Thanks. Yeah, this entire video is going to be B-roll of you hiking.
It's not gonna look pretty. Doing it anyway.
So I'm a bit of a data nerd, and I absolutely love my Apple Watch Ultra, just because I can go hiking and it tracks everything from like average pace to like GPS coordinates, and the Ultra has the capability of doing like an SOS signal, so like the same as like our Garmin, in case I'm in the middle of nowhere and I need help, I can call it. So if you're out going to do some big backcountry stuff, this is kind of the way to go. Two things. One, there's a lot of flies on this, a lot. Two, there has not been a good place to pull off and pee the entire trail. Nothing. So, just FYI. The last mile and a half is pretty cruel because while you can see the parking lot, see your van, we still have a mile and a half to go.
So we just finished hiking up Guadalupe Peak. Can't even talk straight. I'm so tired. It was quite strenuous, granted, not in the best shape, but it was fun. Great views. The last thing we're doing in the park is go visit the visitor center, and then we're moving on. So we tried to come to the visitor center yesterday when we first pulled in, but there was some sort of medical emergency happening inside, so they were closed. They were smart and they brought out the stamper, which was cool. But while we were waiting, trying to figure out, like, do we wait for it to go in or do we go do a hike? I asked the ranger if our car would fit for a tent spot, and some people who were just kind of waiting around were like, we're leaving, you can have our RV spot. And we were like, what? She's like, yeah, we couldn't cancel it, so we're just going to leave it, and you're welcome to it. And that worked out so well because there's not a whole lot of camping near here and very few spots to camp within the park, and reservations get scooped up pretty quickly. But it worked out really well, and now visitor center.
So our time in Guadalupe Mountains National Park has come to an end. Joseph, what are your thoughts?
So I really like the fact that we could say that we were stood on top of Texas. A nice little ego play there. There were a lot of animals here, which was really cool.
Yeah.
We saw sheep, we saw a bunch of lizards, really cool birds, some hawks.
One snake on the trail spooked me.
One snake. Besides that,
I think that it's a really fun park to visit. If you're going to Carlsbad, it's literally 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
Might as well take an extra day to come visit. We had a day and a half and got to see a lot, but I think there was more to see.
yeah, so like this park is really big and it actually connects to Carlsbad through a trail. And like when we heard that there was a 100-mile trail between these two parks, like people hike it all the time. I don't know if they hike it all the time, but they do hike it.
Some people do.
Some people do. I don't know if we do. But I think that's really interesting. This park is laid out where there's like multiple entrances, and to get from one entrance to the other could be as easy as 10 miles, but could also be as
An
long
hour
as like,
and-
you know, an hour plus. And some of the hikes that we originally planned to do aren't at this entrance. So make sure when you're planning your trip that you do figure out where the hikes start from, end at, and all of that, and make sure you can actually be able to do them all.
Yeah, and I think another thing that we noticed, we're here in April and the weather worked out for us beautifully. When we drove here in January, the weather was horrendous and we couldn't actually stop at this park, which is why we're here in April.
Yeah.
But it looks, based on everything in the visitor center, that one of the better times to come here is in the fall, because shockingly, in the middle of the desert, this is known for really wonderful fall foliage, which I think would be stunning to see and super
Yeah.
unique.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you wouldn't expect to go like leaf peeping in the deserts of Texas. So definitely something to consider if you're gonna go. But we were hoping to do one more hike today in some sand dunes on the other side of the park, but it would take us about an hour out of our way. And we're heading to some other sand dunes. So we will see you next week where we will tackle White Sands National Park.
Oh, you told them where we're going?
Yeah.
All right, now the best time of any visit to a national park.
Visitor center.
What do we get at visitor centers?
Lots of things. Postcards.
Okay, well that's a good thing about postcards. It's a nice transition, because if you want a postcard, we offer that as a patron level. For I think it's like $10 a month, $25 a month. We will send you a postcard from wherever we're at, which is a lot of postcards. So that right there is Guadalupe Peak, which is me being attacked by a bug.
They're brutal.
They're brutal. Will Joey ever find out what an ibex is? Dun dun dun. Tune in to next week's episode.
Bye.
Wait, we gotta say goodbye.
On the go.
We're going.
But we are
We're
going.
coming?
So we have a lot
We're
of driving
going.
to do.
We're
Okay,
coming.
bye.
We're going.
Did you just fall?
Are you okay? Roll your ankle.
Hydro homie. Drink your water.
We've been hiking. There was a snake on the trail and so I need a hiking cat.